3, 2, 1.
Hi guys, Matt with Ascent Yoga here, and today I'm going to take you through a 60-minute all levels practice. So as always, as we cue through various poses, if you find a posture that isn't really working for you today, feel free to skip it, move to any other posture that works for you and your body. And as always, if you find a posture that's really a sweet spot, feel free to stay there and rejoin us later in the practice. And of course, making sure giving equal attention right and left sides. As we begin today, we're going to start in child's pose. So for child's pose, we will come down to our mat, knees, tops of the feet on the mat. Knees can be closer together if we'd like to get more into the low back. Knees can go more out wide if we'd like to get more into the hips. And then as you arrive here on the mat, settling in, walking the hands out towards the top of the mat, and bringing the forehead down to the mat or to a block, and beginning to check in with your breath. As you arrive, making those tiny adjustments in the body, finding a comfortable shape for your child's pose, and then beginning to connect with your breath, breathing deeply in through the nose, using the diaphragm to press the rib cage out in all four directions, maybe pausing, holding at the top, and then gently letting that breath go out the nose or the mouth. And beginning to relax a bit more deeply here into this child's pose, finding some stillness for the next 3 to 5 breaths. Gently engaging through the bandhas, lifting the core and the pelvic floor, breathing behind that engagement. And allowing some rhythm to come to your breathing. Two more big breaths here. And then on an inhale, begin to rise up, coming into a tabletop posture, stacking shoulders over wrists, hips over knees. Again, be mindful that those hands aren't sliding too far forward under the eyes. We want them back under the shoulders, spreading the fingers wide, micro bend through the elbows, beginning to feel a little bit of the strength in the upper body, chest, shoulders, and triceps. Long neutral spine from hips through crown. And on an inhale, we start to roll through some cat-cows. Inhale, drop the belly, take the gaze up. And then as you exhale, round the spine, gaze goes back, upper and mid-back round, pressing towards the sky. And we begin to just link breath and movement. Full inhale to arrive, cow pose. Full exhale, cat. And feel free to add any movement that's unique to your practice here, whether that's rolling through the hips, shoulders, or neck, getting into the wrists. What's your body calling for? Go ahead and respond accordingly. Moving for a few more rounds of breath. Again, taking time to even out right side and left side. And then when you're ready, we'll arrive back into our neutral tabletop and moving into some bird dogs, stepping the left foot back, strong through the upper body, and left heel lifts high to the sky, right fingertips extend forward, toes down, thumb up. If that hip on the left side is rolled up and stacked, unstack it, drop that left hip pocket, those toes pointing down towards the floor, square the hips and shoulders, core and pelvic floor engaged, get a little lighter, lift a little taller. And if you'd like to add some abdominal work, crunch elbow to knee, or hold here in this nice isometric bird dog, lengthening in all four directions. One more big round of breath. Inhale, extend. Exhale, right hand down, left leg stays lifted. Sweep that leg wide, point the sole of the foot out to the left, and then slowly bring the left foot down to the floor, toes pointing towards the top of the mat. Half child's pose, half tabletop, wide leg fold. Rolling through a couple rounds of cat-cow here. And then send those hips back towards the heel a couple of times. And then we'll add a twist, grounding through the right hand. Inhale, sweep the left arm high. As you exhale, thread it underneath the right arm. Back of the hand can find the floor or float, whatever feels more comfortable. Again, core and pelvic floor engaged, long line from hips through crown. On an inhale, unwind, rise back up. Exhale, twist it out again. Find a bit more depth, maybe sinking closer to the mat. Feel that twist and give yourself a few good rounds of breath here. On an inhale, sweep the left arm up one more time. Exhale, left hand to the floor. Power up the left leg. Sole of the left foot lifts. Sweep the leg around. Left leg long behind, and then bring the knee down underneath, returning to our tabletop. Cat-cow to reset. And then setting up for our bird dog on the other side. Right leg extends back. Strong through the upper body, right heel lifts, left hand extends forward, toes down, thumb up. Get tall, square up, and as always, first time through any posture, little wiggles, little gentle movements and adjustments to find that shape for you. And then settling in here, if you took those crunches on the other side, give yourself an equal number of crunches here on this side as well. Or just holding here and breathing in this bird dog. Big inhale, extend. Left hand to the floor. Exhale, right foot extends out off the side of the mat. Keep it high and then slowly drop that right foot down to the floor. Toes pointing towards the top of the mat. Cat-cow. And then hinging those hips back a few times. And then we'll add our twist, grounding through the left hand. Inhale, right arm up, reach high. Exhale, thread it under, twist it out. Inhale, rise up, unwind. Exhale, deepen your twist a bit more here on the second side. On an inhale, sweep the right arm up one more time, unwind. Exhale, right hand down, power up through that right side. Lift the right foot, sweep it long behind, and then slowly bring the right knee back underneath the body, tabletop. Cat-cow to reset. And then we're gonna head down to the belly. So stepping the feet back, coming into a high plank, nice and strong. Long line from hips through the crown of the head. Micro bend through the elbows, slowly. Elbows stay over wrists, all the way down to the belly. Palms extend long behind, and we rise up into a gentle locust pose for a few rounds. Inhale, lift the body. Keep the neck relaxed, gaze toward the top of the mat, but using that posterior chain to lift, backs of the hands extending up towards the ceiling as well. One more big inhale. As you exhale, come down to the mat, left ear to the floor. Allow the temple to ground. Bring some softness through the face and the neck. On an inhale, locust pose, lift the body. Extend a little bit more, feet lift a little higher, shoulders lift a little higher, hands a little higher. Core and pelvic floor nice and strong. One more big inhale. As you exhale, right ear down to the floor. Let the temple ground and find some softness through the right side of the neck, right side of the face. From here, bring the left hand in front of the face and then extend the right arm out to about 2 or 3 o'clock, rolling the armpit towards the floor by putting a bit more weight through the pinky edge of the hand. Again, right ear to the mat, left hand in front of the face, and then we're going to press the left hand down. Clear some space for any flesh or fabric on that right side, under that right shoulder, and begin to stack left hip on top of right. Long spine protected by engaging those bandhas, pelvic floor and core. Rotate that armpit towards the floor and breathe into that right shoulder. Left foot might find the floor, but if not, just hover that knee and gently open that hip. On an exhale, slowly unwind. Then we'll switch to that other side. Move any props that might be set by your mat. Left arm extends out long, about 9 or 10 o'clock. Left ear down to the floor, right hand in front of the face. And when that left side is set, begin to press the right hand down. Again, clear any flesh or fabric under that left shoulder. Long spine, and then begin to roll that right hip on top of left. One more big round of breath here on this side. And then start to roll back through center. Bring the hands under the shoulders, maybe a little further back by the rib cage. Chin or forehead to the floor, bend the knees 90 degrees, and let the feet windshield wiper left and right, side to side. Nice release through the low back. Internal and external rotation through the hips. 3, 2, 1. Legs high and then extend them back long. Cobra or upward facing dog. Inhale using the strength of the back body. Lift the shoulders and then extend the arms. Again, hands are under shoulders here. Core and pelvic floor are engaged. And shoulders and earlobes. Lots of space between the two. Making that spine nice and long, and then pulling the chest, pulling the hips through the arms. Maybe adding a little rotation, looking over one shoulder than the other. And when you're ready, tuck the toes, roll the hips up and back. Find your first downward facing dog of the day. Maybe start by pedaling out the feet, working through the toes and the calves. Maybe rising up high onto the tiptoes and even crack them out if that's appropriate. And then bend the knees deeply. Pull the shoulder blades back and down. Press the belly back to the thighs. Biceps frame the ears, and then extend the hips up and back. Upside down V, a nice downward facing dog. A little bend in the knees as needed. Heels do not have to hit the floor here. Relaxing the shoulders back and down. Sending the hips up to the sky. Inhale, lift your gaze to the hands, and then exhale, baby step. Right foot forward, just 2 inches. Lift the left leg as high as it'll go. Set it 2 inches in front of the right foot. Lift the right foot as high as it'll go. Step it 2 inches in front of the left, and slowly repeat as we walk feet to hands, lifting those legs high, warming up that hamstring, warming up that glute. And as you start to find some tightness in those hamstrings, bend the knees, lift up onto the fingers, and baby step those feet forward. Feet roughly under hips, knees have a bend to protect the hamstrings. Hands to shins, inhale, half lift. Extend the crown forward and the hips back. And in our half lift, we want this real strong flat back. Glutes, core, lats, all helping keep us lifted. Hamstrings are engaged. No rounding in the spine. Active, shoulders pulled back and down. Good strong half lift. And then shift the weight a little further in towards the toes. Core and pelvic floor lift. Exhale, forward fold. If hands can't find the floor, that's all right. Hands can find shins, feet, bending those knees as much as is appropriate. Hands come high on the shins. Inhale, lift halfway, strong flat back. Again, feeling that tripod under each foot. Big toe knuckle, little toe knuckle, heel. Good balance, good weight distribution. One more inhale. Exhale, fold. Slightly bend the knees, rolling up one vertebrae at a time. Chin comes up last. Fingertips touch overhead. Hands come down through to heart center. Palms release. By your side, pointing forward, mountain pose. Take a moment, scan the body. Anchoring down through the feet, calves. Lifting the kneecaps to engage the quads. Core and pelvic floor, glutes. Shoulders relax down, nice and strong here in your mountain pose. On an inhale, take the arms up high. Interlace the fingers, point the index to the sky, and then without bending the elbows, relax the shoulder blades back and down. Bend the knees, squeeze the glutes, press the hips to the left, fingers float to the right, side body stretch. On an inhale, back through center. Exhale, hips to the right, fingers point left, side body stretch. And keeping that top shoulder rolled back, body nice and square. Inhale to center, press the hips, lift the heart, and then swim the arms wide, knuckles to touch behind the back, or interlace the hands and press the fists down, roll those shoulders up and back, and we get into a nice shoulder and neck opening stretch here. Be mindful, take notice of which thumb is on top, because we will switch later. But as you settle in here, lengthening through the crown, long spine, you can drop the chin down to the neck, working through the traps in the back of the neck, or take the gaze up and roll the chin up and left, up and right, or holding in any particular posture that helps open through this neck. This is a great one if you spend a lot of time at a computer, at a desk, helping open the front of that neck, providing some length through these sternocleidomastoid muscles. A few more rounds here, evening out, front, back, left and right, and then release the hands. Inhale, arms sweep up high, bend the back a little or a lot, and then exhale, arms wide. Press the hips straight back. Strong, flat back as we move to our fold. Core and pelvic floor lift. Hands high to the shins. Inhale, lift halfway. Bend the knees, plant the hands. Step one foot back, step the other foot back. Strong high plank, moving through our first vinyasa, chaturanga, halfway down. Elbows over those wrists. Upper body nice and strong. Inhale, pull the heart forward and through. And then exhale, roll over those toes, downward facing dog, pedal out those feet. Bend the knees, belly towards the thighs. Exhale, hips up and back, heels drop a little further, more depth in your downward facing dog. And then on an inhale, we take the right leg high to the sky, three-legged dog. Look back at your toes. They shouldn't be pointing out, they should be pointing straight down, keeping those hips square. And again, length through the neck, upper back. Big inhale. Exhale, shift forward. Knee into chest, round the spine. Set the right foot down between the hands and build your low lunge. Take time here. Knee over front ankle, tripod under that front foot. All 10 toes, hips and shoulders square to the front of the mat. And then when we're nice and balanced, we're gonna drop the left knee. We're gonna untuck the left toes and rise on up into our low crescent lunge. And again, here, like every other posture, take a moment to arrive and land. And if you have props available to you, blocks can be your friend here, setting them up in any variety that's going to allow you to relax into this posture. Hand position is entirely up to you. Fingers low to the ground, hands resting on thigh, prayer, or fuller expression, taking those hands up and then sending that breastbone up and forward, relaxing the shoulders down, sinking into that right knee. Wherever you land, give yourself 3 more really big breaths here. One more inhale. As you exhale, stack left knee, hips, and shoulders. I like to use 2 blocks to set up for this half split. Pressing down, lengthening from pelvic floor through crown. Lift the right knee high. Lift the right foot off the floor. Extend it out and slowly lower that heel down. And then reset those blocks. Squaring up through the hips, maybe lifting through the back knee. Inhale, long spine, core and pelvic floor lift. Exhale, half split. And when you arrive here, we've got some modifications available to you as well. You can point and flex through these front toes, massaging out that sciatic nerve. You can roll the foot from 9 to 3, 10 to 2, getting some internal and external rotation through the hip. Add an IT band stretch by walking those blocks outside of the grounded leg. Be mindful with this one, it comes on very quickly. Keep those toes pointed straight up till 12 noon on that grounded foot. Breathing here, stretching through the outside of that leg. Coming back through center, we also have an IT band twist, grounding the left hand. Take the right arm up, press the right hip down and back. Toes toward the middle of the mat. Wherever you land here on this right side, give yourself a couple more breaths. And know that we'll be back here one more time so you can address any of those sweet spots that you don't quite get to hit on this first round. One more big breath. Exhale, let it go. And then find your low runner's lunge. Maybe set those blocks off to the side. Hands frame the right foot. Tuck left toes. Lift left knee. Slip the right leg up and back and then stack right hip on top of left. If you want to go all the way into a flip dog, slowly let that right foot find the floor and then press the hips to the sky. Extend the right hand forward towards the front of the mat. And just as slow and smooth, unwind through 3-legged dog and then exhale, right foot to the floor. Reset those feet, reset that foundation. Downward facing dog, cleansing breath, fill up through the nose. Exhale, let it all go. Inhale, left leg high. Again, take a moment here, strong through that right leg, length building through that right hamstring. Squaring the hips, all 10 toes, forward, down. Exhale, shift it forward. Round the spine. Left foot lands softly. And again, taking a moment here, building that good strong foundation. Tripod under the front foot, even weight, knee over the front ankle, hips, shoulders, and toes square, and then the right knee to the floor. Rise on up. Low crescent lunge one more time. Bringing those blocks back into practice with us if helpful or necessary today. And just like the other side, first time through, taking inventory. What does this shape look like? And what modifications, what hand positions do I want to take here on this other side? Giving yourself another breath or two to arrive, and then finding some stillness in this posture. One more big round of breath here, in. And as you exhale, start to stack knee, hip, and shoulders. Again, I like to stack these blocks outside of that front leg. Lift, in this case, the left knee. Stay square, stay strong through the core, extend the left leg, and then slowly float the left heel down. Reset after that somewhat unorthodox entry. Square the hips. And just like on the other side, we've got those modifications, variations. Point flex through those left toes. Roll them in and out, just rolling that heel. And then if you took that IT band stretch on the first side, we're going to walk those blocks outside of the left leg, lengthen the spine, keep that big toe in the middle of the mat, not letting it roll out. And then maybe finding a bit more depth, pulling that left hip back and down gently. And then again, that option for that twist as well, grounding through the right hand, slowly rotating the left shoulder, pulling that left hip down and back just a bit more. And these blocks are here available on any setting, low, medium, high, or hand all the way to the floor. Whatever is appropriate for your practice today. Finding that shape here on this left side that's going to work for you for about 2 more breaths. And then returning to our low lunge. Sole of the left foot to the floor, blocks drop off to the side. Hands frame the left foot, tuck right toes, lift right knee, arch the back. Left leg slips up and back, 3-legged dog, stack the hip. And again, if you took that flip dog, slowly let the left foot fall to the floor. Extend the left fingertips up and back. And then unwind nice and slow and smooth. 3-legged dog, left leg to the sky. Left foot down to the floor, pedal out those feet. Lift the hips high, more space, more depth in that down dog. Inhale, lift the gaze. Exhale, step, float, or hop. Feet travel to the top of the mat between the hands. Again, good foundation. Clear space, hands high on the shins, flat back, nice and strong. Nice and long, maybe the hands start to float. Exhale, fold a bit deeper. And then roll it up to standing, 1 vertebrae at a time. Arms come up overhead. Interlace the fingers, pull the shoulders back and down, bend the knees, squeeze the glutes. Hips right, fingers left. Again, roll that top shoulder back. Inhale to center. Other way, side body stretch. Hips left, fingers right, top shoulder rolls back. Inhale, rise through center, sweep the arms wide. Either knuckles to touch behind the back 1 more time, or interlace those fingers, fists pressed down. Opposite thumb, probably the weird thumb on top this time. Just creating a little more space to even out and create symmetry in the body. Same thing here, drop the chin, roll. Or take the gaze up and roll. Taking whatever variations you need on this side to finish out, opening through the front of the chest, the neck, the throat, or the back of the neck and the traps. A few more breaths here to even out. And when you're there, return to a mountain pose. Fingers point towards the floor, palms pointing towards the top of the mat. Growing tall from the ground through the crown of the head, relaxing the shoulders down, sending energy through the fingers. And then inhale, sweep the arms up, bend the back a little or a lot. Exhale, arms wide, strong, slow, controlled, balanced halfway fold, and then take it all the way to the floor as you finish your exhale. Hands high to the shins, lift halfway. Exhale, bend the knees, plant the hands. Step or hop those feet back. High plank, nice and strong. Slowly lower, use your strength. Body pulls through. Exhale, downward facing dog. One more time through that gentle sequence. Inhale, right leg to the sky. Lift it high, feel some length build. Exhale, knee into chest, round spine. Right foot lands soft. Take your time, build your foundation. We're gonna add our easy twist here. Left hand grounds, right arm up. Again, long line from that left heel up through the crown. You'll be dropping the left hip down, sliding the right hip back, finding some more space. Core and pelvic floor, keeping engaged. Exhale, right hand, left knee to the floor. Grab those blocks if needed. Rise on up, low crescent lunge. Second time through, we've been here, so find your way into that full expression of the pose here on this right side. And land for 3 really high quality breaths. When you're ready, shift the weight back, stacking grounded knee, hip and shoulders. Lift the right leg, extend it out, slowly drop that heel to the floor. Pull the hip back in line, nice and square. Exhale, half split here on this right side, round 2. Again, what variation do you need to take? Do you want to take on this side? Movement or stillness? What's your practice? What's your body calling for today? You got about 3 more breaths here on this right side, taking any variation that you need. And then when you're ready, we return to our low lunge. Right foot slides down to the floor, hands frame right foot, tuck left toes, lift left knee. Right leg goes up and back, flip the dog or stack the hip. Press the hips up and back, extend the right fingertips. Breathing nice and smooth here still, even if you're getting inverted. And then flip it back over nice and slow, nice and smooth, right leg high. Exhale, right foot to the floor, right to this left side. Inhale, left leg goes up. Exhale, shoulders over wrists, round the spine. Left foot lands softly. Square up those hips. And then we add our easy twist. Right hand down, inhale, left arm sweeps up. Again, long through the spine, core and pelvic floor stay engaged as we rinse out those hips, rinse out that torso. And then exhale, left hand, right knee down to the floor. Grab your blocks if you've been using them. Taking a moment, squaring up the body, finding some depth on this left side. And wherever you land, again, give yourself about 3 really high quality breaths here into that right hip on this left side. One more really big intentional breath. And then stack, grounded knee, hips and shoulders. Press the hands down into that block, lift that left knee high, extend it out long, and then slowly lower it down to the floor. Square up those hips. Find that space in that left hamstring. And then when you land, just like on the other side, find a shape and give yourself a few rounds of really slow, deep, intentional breaths. symmetry in the body. So whatever we took on that right side, we need to take on the left. So just be mindful and give yourself time to move through any of those variations you took on the right side. One more big round of breath here. And then we return to our low lunge. Hands frame the left foot. Tuck right toes, lift right knee. Left leg sweeps up and back. Exhale, stack the hip. Flip the dog if it's in your practice. Again, press those hips high and lengthen. Flipping back over. Left leg high to the sky. Slowly return the left foot to the floor, and now we start our flow. Right leg high on an inhale. Exhale, step the right foot between the hands, round the spine. Right foot lands soft. Again, real strong foundation through the right foot, the right hamstring, the right glute, and that left leg lifting high. Inhale, rise up, high crescent lunge. Hips and shoulders, all 10 toes pointing towards the top of the mat. Again, arm position is what suits you. More intensity, less intensity. Again, focusing on a good stretch through that left hip, strength through the right side. One more big inhale as we lengthen. Exhale into a prayer twist. Left elbow hooks outside of this right knee. Taking your gaze to that top right corner of the mat, lengthen the spine, and then exhale, find some more depth. Elbows stacked. Breath moving with ease. From here, we move to a warrior two. Big swim move. Drop the left arm. Sweep it high and wide. Rotate the left toes 90 degrees. Right toes point to the top of the mat. Heel to heel or heel to arch alignment. Arms parallel, and then we drop into this right knee. Keeping the right knee over the right ankle. Shoulders over hips. Gaze over the front hand. Relax the shoulders. Feet pushing the mat in both directions. A very powerful pose here in our warrior two. Feeling strong through the low body. Exhale, reach the right hand forward. If a half bind is in your practice, bring the left hand to the right hip crease. Keep the legs as they are. Inhale, trace the right arm up and back, reverse your warrior. Breathing into the right rib cage. On an exhale, right forearm gently rests or hovers over the right thigh. Stack the left shoulder on top of the right, extended side angle. Ankle, knee, shoulder, shoulder. If you want to loosen the half bind, left bicep by the left ear, fingers point to the top of the mat, palm to the floor, extended side angle. Again, check that engagement through those bandhas. Check in with your breath. Inhale as we straighten the right leg. Arms come back to parallel, setting up for triangle pose. Little micro bend through the knees. We're going to press the left hip back towards the back of the mat. Right hip drops toward the floor. Right fingertips extend to the front of the mat and drop the right hand to a block, to the shin, or if it's accessible, all the way to the floor. Lengthen, pull right hip underneath left. Exhale, lengthen through the left side body, triangle pose. On an inhale, rise to standing. Turn all 10 toes towards the left side of the mat. 12 noon. Exhale, hinge the hips, wide-legged fold, palms to the floor. Gaze goes back between your legs. Active rest here, maybe bending laterally one knee, then another. Lots of modifications available to you here in this wide leg fold, so take anything that your body's calling for. Halfway lift on an inhale, setting up for a lizard lunge. Walk the hands back to the top of the mat. Right foot out to the right side. Left leg long behind you. Toes and knee lifted or grounded, entirely up to you. Option to add some twists here in your lizard. Peel that left leg up in towards the glute, working your way perhaps towards a full bind. Rolling that right blade edge, rolling that right knee out, maybe just rotating up, perhaps a half bind behind the right calf, sinking deeply into those hips. Any variation of lizard available to you here. You can also rock back into a half split if you'd like to access those hamstrings a bit more. Hip and hamstring mobility. 2 more nice big breaths here. And we set up for our yogi squat, our malasana. So tuck the left toes, lift the left knee. Send the right hand ahead of the right foot and plug the right knee into the right tricep. Left hand forward in line with right. And we're gonna send this left leg high. Tap left knee to left tricep. Set the left foot down, drop the hips, lift the heart. Good strong yogi squat. Balance through that tripod underneath each foot. Load the glutes, load the quads, drive the floor away, come to standing. Grapevine those feet together. Inhale, exhale into mountain pose. Here we go, right to the left side. Inhale, sweep the arms up, grow tall, bend the back a little or a lot. Exhale, fold, slow and strong. Halfway lift on your inhale. Exhale, hands to the floor, bend the knees, step it back. Vinyasa, chaturanga, halfway down. Inhale, bend the back, cobra or upward facing dog. Exhale, down dog. Inhale, left leg high. Exhale, left foot between the hands. Strong, sturdy foundation. Inhale, rise on up, high crescent lunge. Again, first time through, checking that foundation. All 10 toes, hips and shoulders square to the top of the mat. This back knee can bend a little or a lot to protect that hip. But as we find some depth, we sink in, front knee over front ankle, back leg extends a bit more. And again, any arm variation that works for you here on this side. Big inhale for length. Exhale, prayer twist. Right elbow hooks outside of left knee. Again, long spine, and then finding more depth in that twist. Stacking the elbows, core and pelvic floor, clearing space, rinsing out. Moving to our warrior two. Release the right arm, swim it high, up and back. Right toes 90 degrees to that right edge of the mat, left toes pointing forward, heel to heel or heel to arch alignment. And then exhale, bend into the left knee. We find our warrior two here on the second side. Again, shoulders relaxed, front knee over that front ankle. It's gonna wanna drop in, use that strength to pull that knee out and find a bit more depth. Reach. If you took that bind on the first side, take it again. Don't lose the bend in the legs. Inhale, trace it up. Breathe into the left ribs. Extended side angle. Reverse your warrior. Now we move to our extended side angle. Exhale, left forearm gently resting on that thigh or hovering just a bit. Stacking that right shoulder back and then dropping down into that left knee a bit further. Inhale, we rise up and we get ready for our triangle. Again, set that foundation, a little micro bend through the knees. Right hip slides back, left hip slides down. Send the left fingertips forward and then left hand drops down. Block, floor, shin, whatever is accessible. Inhale, lengthen. Stack right hip on top of left and then drop on down. Inhale to standing. All 10 toes pointing to that right side of the mat. Exhale, hinge the hips slow, fold it smooth. Wide leg fold coming down. On an inhale, rise up halfway, and we come to lizard on our left side one more time. Drop that back knee, or keep that back leg lifted. Again, same variations. You can add twists. Press that knee out on the left side, roll to the pinky blade edge of the foot. Wrap the calf, or go for that bind. Finding whatever shape here on the lizard works for you. Then we'll set up for our yogi squat. Left hand ahead of the left foot, left knee to tricep. Square that right hand up, pop up, right leg high, right knee, right tricep, sole of the right foot to the floor. Drop the hips, yogi squat. Nice flat back, not rounding, using the hips, using that strength through the lower body, through the core and the pelvic floor. Drive the floor away, grapevine those feet together. Arms to the sky, and then release down, mountain pose. Now, if you'd like to run through that sequence one more time each side, I encourage you, rewind, go through right and left side one more time. To stay within our hour though, we're gonna be moving on to closing our practice. So we're gonna return to our tabletop. Inhale, sweep the arms up, exhale, fold. Half lift on an inhale. Exhale, bend the knees, plant the hands, step it back, bring the knees down to the floor. Coming into our half pigeon on each side. You may have a block at the top of the mat to come down to. We'll step our left foot back. We'll bring our right knee towards our right wrist and slide that right ankle across. Now, ideally, we want that shin parallel with the top of the mat, but I'm at about a 45-degree angle, which is just fine. Now, we also don't want these hips to roll off to one side or another, so we want to get nice and strong. Hips are square. Maybe press that back foot into the mat, lift the hips, and then drop that left hip forward and down. Exhale, half pigeon. And you're here for a full minute. So relaxing down, maybe bringing a block under the forehead or coming all the way to the floor. Softening that right hip on each exhale. One more really big breath here in this half pigeon on right side. Then begin to walk your hands back towards the right shin. Tuck the left toes, lift the left knee, slip that right knee back to our tabletop, and then roll that hip out a couple of times. Maybe step it behind and swing it wide through that half child's pose. Just get some feeling back in that right hip. And then we move to our left side. Right leg steps back, left knee, left wrist, ankle slides across. And again, taking a moment, squaring up, feeling that left hip. And then coming down to forearms, maybe bringing that block underneath chest or forehead. And then here for a nice full minute, slow, deep breathing, softening through that left side. One more nice big slow round of breath here. Start to rise back up onto the palms, walk them back to that left shin, tuck right toes, lift right knee so you can slip that left leg out, and then same thing here, take some counter stretches on that left side, bringing some awareness back to that left hip, whatever you took on the other side, mirroring that here. And then coming to our hero's pose, knees together, tops of the feet to the mat, sit back on those heels, let the hands rest on the thighs. Just give yourself a few moments here, lengthening from the pelvic floor up through the crown, letting the shoulders melt down. Opportunity to scan the body. And then pick your favorite hip, right or left. Bring it to the floor and swing those legs around. And we'll set up for a gentle seated straddle. So, taking the legs wide, hands framing the right thigh, lifting up, clearing any fleshy, fabricy goodness, and then moving to the left side as well. Sitting up nice and tall, inhale, arms to the sky, strong flat spine. Exhale, send the heart forward and down, long spine, hands to the floor, and then chin drops last. Minimal rounding through that back. Perhaps using some inhales to half lift and then exhales to find more depth. One more big round of breath here. And then start to walk those hands back towards the pelvic floor. Shift the shoulders. Take your gaze and square up over the right leg. You may need a strap here to lasso the right foot. Otherwise, we want to access the arch of the right foot with the right hand. You can also tuck your elbow inside of this right thigh. We're going to get into these QLs, our low back muscles. So for those of us who can access the foot, right hand to right foot, and then gently cup the left ear with the left hand. And then we're going to rotate that left elbow to the sky. Now again, if you're holding onto a strap or you're just using that elbow, we want to use that arm as a counter force to help deepen our twist. And we should feel this stretch here through the left kidney area. Two more big breaths here. On an exhale, slowly return nose to right knee. Inhale, come on up, and we come to the left side. So again, strap, hand, elbow, comfortable, not having to work or put too much effort in to access the posture. So again, folding over, right hand cups right ear. Inhale, rotate right elbow to the sky. Again, strap or elbow. These are accessible modifications if you can't quite access that foot. And then we want to use that left hand or that strap or that elbow to help create some counter force and deepen our stretch. Two more big breaths here. Last one. On your exhale, nose to left knee, and then slowly roll yourself back up. Grab a knee pit, bring the soles of the feet to the middle of the mat, slide the hips forward. Butterfly for just a moment, sitting up nice and tall. Send the fingertips forward, engage the core and pelvic floor, and as slow as you can, roll down one vertebrae at a time. Taking any arm posture that suits you here. Right hand belly, left hand heart. Arms wide, cactus overhead. Maybe a gentle butterfly bridge to help lengthen and then flatten that spine and let the knees get heavy. Supta Baddha Konasana. One more big round of breath here. And then hands to thighs, close the knees like a book, bring them over the chest, wrap yourself in a nice hug. Maybe roll the body left and right, side to side. And then moving to a happy baby. Thread the elbows inside the knees. Index and middle finger hook the big toe, or hook the hands outside the pinky blade edge of the feet. Flatten out that spine. So we don't want those hips rolling way up. If that has happened, go ahead and take the hands to the big toes. Create a little bit more space and length. You can roll it side to side here. Bring the soles of the feet to touch and maybe straighten one or both legs. Get into those hamstrings one last time. About 5 or 6 breaths here. Again, taking care to even right and left side if you do move into any unilateral movements. As you even out here, finishing up, we set up for our spinal twist. Right knee into the chest. Left foot hovers about an inch off the floor. Feel that flat, long spine one more time. Core and pelvic floor engage. Send the left heel to the floor. Press the left hand into the right thigh into the left hand, creating some tension and some length. Exhale. Keep the right shoulder plugged into the floor as you twist it out. Right knee goes across the body. If that right shoulder popped up, set it back down and breathe your way into this twist. Last breath here, biggest breath in. Let it all go. Use that left hand to unwind. Maybe circle out that right hip one last time and then send the right leg long. Bring the left knee up and in. Let the right heel hover just an inch or two so you can flatten that spine out. Set the core and pelvic floor. Drop the right heel, circle out the left hip. And then right hand, left thigh into right hand. Create that length and that tension so you can exhale with a long spine. Second twist. Two more breaths here. Make them long and slow and deep. Last one. Let it all go. On an inhale, unwind. Circle out that left knee one last time. And then set up for your final resting pose, your Savasana. Flattening the body out. If you'd like to incorporate the blocks under the body in any way, take a moment and set that up. And then coming down, returning to the mat, closing our practice in our Savasana. Softening the body on each exhale, letting the normal cadence of your breath return. Try to connect with the beating of your heart and be like melted ice cream, just sinking heavy and deep into the floor. Savasana. Take a nice, slow, deep breath in. Sigh it out. Gentle movements, fingers and toes. Slowly bringing some awareness back to the body. Staying here on your back and taking a moment or rolling to your favorite side, bringing the knees into the chest, taking fetal pose. Spending a few breaths somewhere in conscious surrender before working your way up to a nice comfortable seat. As you arrive in any seated posture, stack head over heart over hips, close the eyes, breathe in, roll the shoulders up, lengthen from pelvic floor through crown. Keep that length and then exhale, let the shoulders melt down and back, and we close out practice with 3 moments of gratitude. First moment is for yourself, your physical body carrying you through the practice. Second moment is for another, someone in your life who could use some good vibes. Bring that person to the front of your mind and send some good energy their way. And finally, gratitude from me to you. It's a pleasure and a privilege to lead this practice. So thank you for spending some of your day with me. Namaste. Cut! Whew.
How'd you feel?
Dude, that felt really good.
Yeah, I didn't hear any slip-ups or anything.
No, I mean, like I said, I've done this, more or less this sequence in my sleep at this point, so I can teach it really easy.